Welcome to Wack and Trash Recap, the movie recap podcast. I'm your host, Zach Olson.
And I'm your host, Stephen Mitchell.
And we are here today to recap some movies for you guys and ladies. We don't want to leave you out either.
Yeah, it's for everybody.
Well, and if you're like me from the Midwest, you just call everybody guys, no matter who they are. Come on down to the cheese joint and grab some beer.
You guys.
You guys. Anyway, today's episode, we are talking about... That was the boulder rolling. Your guess as to what we're talking about? No. We're talking about Indiana Jones and the...
You got it.
Lost...
Nope.
Temple of Doom.
No. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. I knew Lost was in there somewhere.
Yeah, I actually think, mostly because when I looked on Letterboxd, it didn't have Indiana Jones in the title.
Really?
I think this might just be called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, wait.
Could be wrong.
So do the other ones have Indiana
that.
Jones on it? Do the other ones have Indiana Jones in the title? Really interesting. I guess before it became a solid franchise.
Right?
Yeah,
it might have just been like, oh, it's just Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. So that's your fun fact that might be wrong today.
And we're doing the first one because, in our opinions, it's the best one. You are welcome to disagree with us, but you'd be wrong.
Well, we would like to say that Last Crusade. That's the one with the Holy Grail, right?
Yeah.
That one might be technically the best one.
Technically, yes.
But this is
this is the most nostalgic, and then number 3. Honestly, hot take. I don't think number 3 was that bad. I think it just wasn't as good as the first 2. So people were like, "Oh, this is trash."
What? No. People love number 3. Number 3 is considered to be the best one.
Wait, what? No, number 2. Number 2, excuse me. Temple of Doom. Yes, Temple of Doom. I enjoyed it.
No, it's still a fun time.
Yeah.
It's in the top 3 of the franchise.
Still strong. True. If you go past number 3, I don't know what you're doing with your time. So sorry. But anyway, let's dive in, man.
Let's do it.
Let's adventure through this movie. Like Indiana Jones. We're not doing number 4.
What? Yeah.
The aliens.
No. That was supposed to be the sound of the jungle.
Like
a bird.
That's them. It's hacking with a machete. And yes, so there's 3 figures. They're marching through the forest. This is an expedition, as you can tell. We have a discussion between 2 of them. They come upon a dart in a tree.
And they're like, Horatio. No.
I can't remember the name of the tribe.
H.
It's like a
South American
cannibalistic tribe, I think, or something like that. It's like Gimli tasting the orc blood. He's like, which I don't know why I'd put a foreign substance in my mouth in the first place, but maybe I just have a strong sense of taste.
You can't tell by just touching it. You got to taste it to know.
Yep. You can waft it.
That's Yeah, you're so right. There's other scary things that keep popping up in the woods. Well, not really scary thing.
There's a statue that they pull back a bush and the guy's like, ah!
And he just runs away forever. And it's like it just screams
so long. Yeah.
Also, by the way, this is the 1900s. This is 1940s.
Yes.
Not present day.
So now we come to a river and the 3 figures who we've only seen the face of 2 of them so far.
And there's been a third one with a cool hat and a leather jacket.
And we don't know who it is, but he's mysterious. Cool. That's right. And one of the 2 guys, I was like, this is whatever territory. We better watch out. He takes out a knife.
No, a gun.
He takes out a gun and he's like.
He's about to shoot
bang,
the leathered figure.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and he whips the gun out of his hand, and he's like, I'm out of here. And so then that one dude that tried to shoot Indiana Jones runs away, and that's when you see Harrison Ford, and he's all cool looking.
He steps forward into the sunlight, and you see his face, and you're like, this man.
This is cool.
Yeah.
So then him and his buddy, whose name I don't know, but he's played by Alfred Molina. Did I know that one?
Which I did not remember he was in this film.
I did not. If his name was not in the credit, I would not have recognized him.
I don't know, maybe.
We watched it, and I was like, I don't know Alfred Molina is. And who is that? And you were like, that guy.
That guy right there.
They get into this old Aztec temple or
Yeah,
something.
yep.
And they start walking through, and
It's
he
just like
stops his friend.
it's just like covered in spider webs at the entrance.
So many spider webs. And
Would you have gone through if you were in that situation?
Whoa.
Also, Harrison Ford, they did not pay you enough for this opening scene, by the way.
Oh my goodness! They walk into all these spider webs, and there's one spider on Indiana Jones, and he just hits it off. With
His friend's like, and he turns around, and there's like 5 more spiders on his back, and he's just like,
dude, there's so much more than 5.
It's insane.
It's disgusting. They could not pay me enough money to do that.
no. And then his friend turns around, and they're like falling all over him. It's
so many.
disgusting. Anyway, enough about spiders. They
Yep.
keep moving on. And they come to this hallway section of the hallway where it's like some sun rays coming through. Indiana Jones is like, wait, don't touch the sunlight. Which I don't know how they did this back before like laser technology was a thing.
I have no idea.
But the guy stays on the one side, and then he goes, and Indiana Jones ducks underneath the sunlight, and he comes back around, and he like raises his hand into the sunlight, which I think is a terrible idea. He should like done his whip or something.
Yeah.
But he raises his hand, and then these spikes jut out, and
Yep.
he's like, there's the other explorer, because the other guy's like impaled on the spikes or whatever.
Yeah, and he's like, oh man, good thing I didn't go there. And so then
I'd say
they
so.
go and they get across. They use Indy's whip to swing over a ravine,
Yep.
as it were.
A gorge,
And
not a gorge.
ravine feels like the right word.
Sure,
I'm
it's
sure.
it's a pit.
And so then they get to the end. There's like one last thing where they're like, oh, there it is. And he's like, that's what concerned me. And there's pressure plates. You step on them, it shoots all these arrows.
And what's really funny is like it's really clearly defined, like
Yeah.
pressure plate. Like you couldn't really miss the design unless you just thought it was like a part of the floor. But like you're in a temple where you just had to like go through all these traps. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna look at
Considering
this.
they had sun-activated traps, I'm shocked that these pressure plates are not better hidden.
True.
But finally, Indy gets up there, and at the beginning, before you walked in, you see him get a bunch of sand, and then she has more sand, and she's got a bag of sand, and the idol that he's there to get is sitting on top of a pedestal. And somehow, I guess he knows that it's a weight pressure.
It was a good guess.
Again, also don't know how that was designed.
I
at this
assumed like
time.
it was in the blueprints. Like he found blueprints of this trapped hallway thing
Yeah.
before they got there. He just never showed it. But
Sure.
you got it.
And so she does a quick switcheroo, and nothing happens.
And then he turns around, starts to walk away, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
oh no! And then the walls start shaking, dust is coming down, the roof collapses and caves in, and he just runs out across the pressure plates, and the arrows start
Arrows
shooting
everywhere.
fire. And he doesn't get touched at all, so
Remarkable.
they didn't rig that quite
He's
right.
so fast. He's too fast.
Really, if you're thinking about it, if you're gonna rig this system, you should have like, if you step here on this pressure plate, the arrows here should go, right? So if you're running through, it would get you there.
I think I'd do both.
That's fair.
Because
if they don't
want to like
run-
step on it, not move, and then just hit.
Yeah, that's true.
It should just like hit all of them all at once, and then the next one also does all of them at once.
But that's a lot of arrows.
Okay. So they get back to the ravine. Alfred swings over, and he gets to the other side, and then more of it, like the ground falls apart, so it's a wider gap than it was before. And then he's like, give me the whip. And Alfred Molina's like, no, hermano.
Give me the idol first, and then I'll give you the whip.
And he's like, what? And he's like, we don't have time to just get this. And so Indy throws him the idol.
And he's like,
adios, amigo. And so then he leaves the whip on the far side from where Indy is.
and
he's like,
on the other side, there's a door that is closing down, right? So Indy only has so much time to jump over this thing and get through the door.
Yeah. So he takes a few steps.
Scrambles.
Barely scrambles in.
He
and
scrambles for like a hot second, too.
Yeah.
It's like, he would not have made it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then he rolls underneath the closing door, grabs the whip, and he keeps on running. And then you see an impaled Alfred. He got by the sunlight spikes. That's how they get to
Yeah,
him.
you gotta remember these things.
You got to remember these things.
Yeah.
And so then he gets the idol back, and then
It's a boulder. If you couldn't tell, it's a boulder coming down. Which is so funny too, because like for this trap, all you would have to do is just like walk back a couple feet, let it roll in front of you, and you'd have been totally fine. But anyway, Indy takes the hard way, and he starts running. This boulder is rolling down the ramp, and it's coming right after him. He's running, and then eventually he finally jumps out of the front, and the whole thing collapses in. But he is fine. He's still covered in spider webs, which is disgusting.
But he's outside the temple on the forest ground, and then. Oh, Indiana Jones, I see you have another artifact that you have recovered for me.
Darn you.
Belloc.
Oh, that's what it is. Belloc.
And he's like, I will make sure they remember you. I don't know if he said that. I forget what he said.
He's like, well, Indiana Jones, he's like, it's a good thing these natives, because Guy talked to the natives. That's what it was. He could speak the native language, and he's like, it's a good thing these natives don't know you like I do. And he's like, yeah, but too bad that you don't speak their language. Now get him, everybody. And so he, like, I think he throws the idol to the guy, and then he, like, runs off, and then all the indigenous people start running after him.
Yep, and so Indy's bolting out, and he's running, getting chased by a ton of these people. And then you cut to Jock, is his name.
He's
sitting
there.
fishing on a plane, a little biplane, and he's got a bite, and he's excited. And then he sees Indy, and he's like, Jock, stop the plane.
And he stays there for like a second. He's like, oh, but I just got a fish. Which, to be fair, if you've been fishing for like a couple hours and you just get a bite and now you have to leave it, like I would have some hesitation.
Be a little frustrated.
But he
turns
turns
then he
around.
Sees all the people. So he gets up there and he starts the engine. And these people are not good with the bow and arrows and blow darts. Not that I would
like
be much
clones
better.
from Star Wars. They can't hit the broadside.
Yeah, and so Indy makes it onto the plane, climbs in there, and they start flying away on this little biplane. And he's, Jock, why there a snake?
Because that's my pet snake. Don't hurt him, okay?
I hate snakes. And that'll come up later.
Yeah, it was a super pivotal plot point to have in the beginning of the film. But then we cut back to a university where Senior Indiana Jones is teaching a class on archaeology. Now, I've never taken a class on archaeology. Got to be honest with you, unless you are a super, super big fan of archaeology and artifacts, which, like, it could be kind of fascinating. Seems like a very boring class.
I feel like if with the right teacher, I bet it's really fun.
Maybe with him, yeah, I could get behind it.
Well, I mean, he didn't seem like the most fun teacher. All the ladies apparently are very into him. This one lady has on her eyelids painted "Love You."
Yeah.
And he's trying to cheat, and he's like, and he's taking her back.
A little distracted.
And then finally,
the dean walks in.
Oh, hey, Indiana Jones, is he British?
Something like that.
Yeah.
What is it, Professor? I can't do Harrison Ford. I'm sorry. I'm gonna probably just do a John Wayne. I'm sorry. What's up, Professor?
Or how did your last expedition go?
I had it right there, man. And then Belloc. He took the idol right away from me. I got a couple pieces that you can sell off to the museum or whatever, but he got away with it again.
Oh, well, I've got some men from the U.S. government. They're here to see you, isn't it?
Dean, I can't understand a word you're saying, man.
He said, I've got people from the American government, CIA folks or something like that.
Yeah.
They want to go see you, Indy.
So then they go off and they start talking to these guys, and they're like, Hitler, he's enthralled with, is it like religious artifacts? Spiritual?
Yes, he's really into religious artifacts. He believes they hold great power. Specifically, well, actually, they don't know this. He goes, so he's doing an expedition dig in Egypt, and they have
the staff of Uzmakapa or whatever. Here's a rundown for you. Nazis are in Egypt digging for this thing because they think it has some magical power that will lead, or it's going to show them a map to the Ark of the Covenant, and they believe that the Ark of the Covenant holds supernatural power because it was the seat of God. Interesting for a Nazi to believe that something about the Israel Hebrew God for it to hold power like that. But
yeah, the fact that they think that is gonna, they're like, yeah, surely the Hebrew God will help us. Insane thought.
I guess they still believed that the Bible stories were true. Anyway, so this artifact that's like it's like the headpiece of a staff that a pharaoh would use. You shine a light on it, or the certain time of sunlight, daylight hits this thing at a certain spot, and it shows a map to the Ark of the Covenant. So that's what they're there for in Egypt, right? And Indiana Jones is all about this, right? He's like, oh my goodness, I need to go off. I need to be a part of this expedition, because this is like a huge find. He doesn't believe in the spiritual aspect of the thing. He doesn't really care that the Nazis are after it. He's just like, this is going to be a huge find.
Yeah,
I want to be the one to do it.
People have been searching for the Ark of the Covenant for
ever.
The Nazis and India are looking for the top piece of the staff. The Nazis are still digging around in general in that area for the Ark as well. They're not just looking for the staff.
Oh, okay.
So finally, they get Indy to go on this trip, and he's like, yes. And so then that's when he gets on a plane, and you see a mysterious man, and he has a newspaper, and he's mysterious because he flips the newspaper down, and he stares at Indy like,
eyes.
Who is that? And then you're like, ooh, who's
so
this
he's
guy?
being followed.
Yeah, and so then that's when you have the and it's the plane, and you have the little map with the red line, and you see where he's going, and he ends up in
Nepal.
Oh yeah,
I'm surprised I hit that one, but good. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
And he is there to meet a lady from his past.
Yes, and so we open in, and we're at a bar, and it's a whole bunch of Nepalese folk, and then it cuts back to a lady. Her name is Miriam. I can't remember if it ends with an N or an M.
I think it's probably Miriam.
Miriam.
Indiana Jones walks in, and she says, Indy, I always knew you'd come walking back through my door someday. Which, fun fact, here's a little tidbit about me.
Ooh.
I saw Minnesota Cuke before Indiana Jones. And so when she said that, I was like, it's just like Minnesota Cuke. Which is like our friend saying that Lord of the Beans is like Lord of the Rings. But it's really just the other way around. So it was a fun moment for me.
Wow. Yeah. What do you think is better?
Well, I'll put it like this: there's a ice cream flood in Minnesota Cuke, and there's not one in Indiana Jones. So, if that gives you any clues as to the way I swing.
And so, Indiana Jones is like, "Hey, how's your dad?"
Oh, he's fine.
No, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
And he's like, yeah, I deserve that. They had a fling back in the day.
I might have been mishearing things, but it sounded like she was a lot younger than he is.
That was kind of the vibe I was getting.
It sounded like she was like
also
17, and he's like...
So I feel like he might have been a bit older, but probably not like way older. That's what I'm going to tell myself.
I hope so. Anyway, so they have...
The 30s were a different time.
They sure were. They'll go back and forth, oh, no, this relationship and whatnot. And then Indy is like, hey, this medallion thing, do you still have it? And she's like, you just want me for my stuff. And he's like, yeah, I do. Can you have it? And she's like, fine.
Come back tomorrow.
Whatever. You can have it. Yeah, come back tomorrow. And he's like, oh, why do you got to be this way? So he takes off. And then...
We're closed.
Hitler does not care when you are open. Let us in, Fräulein. It is the Nazis.
She's like, oh no.
Which, do the Nazis have any, jurisdiction out in Nepal? I don't know my geography, but...
Of course not. But basically, this guy shows up. Well, I think he hired some... I think he was just this dude, and he hired some local people.
That's true. He did, yep.
And so then, basically, he's like, Fräulein, give me the medallion.
And she's like, never. I don't have it.
Then I have other ways of making you talk. And I don't know what happened to my boy.
We have ways of making you speak. He takes a fire iron and he's about to brand her face or whatever. And then that's when we get a lot of whip action.
Yep. And Indiana Jones busts back in the door and he starts shooting dudes and then they start shooting back at him. And it's intense. And then the fire iron flies onto something flammable, and then the whole plate starts going up in flames.
Yep.
And it's by the medallion, because Miriam was wearing it. She put it off to the side, and so now the medallion is basically catching on fire, and there's fire everywhere.
And that's when the Nazi guy sees it, and he's like, and then he grabs the medallion, and it burns him. It's like that moment in Home Alone when the guy grabs the door, it burns him, and so he's like, and then he runs out into the snow, and then they take care of everybody else, and they jump out right before the building collapses on fire.
Yep, and Miriam is like, I guess I'm coming with you, Indy. And he's like, yes, no. And then that's when he gets up. And then they go to Egypt, and they meet John Rhys Davies.
I cannot remember anybody's character's name except for Indiana Jones. I'm sorry. It's like Moriarty, Mushlek. I can't
Let's just call him Mr.
So Mr. meets up with Indiana Jones and Miriam. And he has a family, and they're enjoying the family, and there's this little pet monkey.
And they're like, where did the monkey come from?
And she's like, he's like, I don't know, but it's your friend now, because it's like sitting on Miriam's shoulder and playing with her. And so now they sit down and they talk with this guy, because he's like the local like go-to archaeologist.
He's a digger.
Expert guy.
And you find out that the Germans have hired basically every digging crew in whatever city they're in.
It's not Saudi Arabia. I don't know where it is.
Saudi Arabia is a country.
Yeah, I know.
Not a city.
I was just thinking originally it wasn't in Egypt, but I believe it was in Egypt.
I'm pretty sure it's in Egypt. You know, they're doing all these digs, and India's like, I need to translate what's on this medallion, because there's some old Egyptian on it. And he's like, I know somebody that can help. And he's like, okay. And so they go in to set up this meeting, and Miriam and Indy just start walking around, I guess.
Well, they're getting some food or something like that.
Yeah, and
that's when the monkey run off, and she's like, "Oh no, poor monkey!" But
and he's like, "Leave it alone."
And then the monkey runs up to a man with an eye patch,
and you're like, "Oh, this guy's bad news."
You know he's not trustworthy because he has an eye patch. Sorry to anybody who has an eye patch.
But does not reflect our opinion of people with eye patches.
It's just movie tropes.
Movie trope.
But then he gives him one of these. And
that seals the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, oh yeah, this guy is bad news.
And then so they're buying dates or grapes or whatever fruit they have in this nondescript Egyptian location. And around the corner,
script act, so we just forget.
I can describe it to you, but I cannot tell you the name. And then around the corner comes a man, and he's brandishing a sword, and he jumps at Indy and Miriam, and he blocks him and puts him out of the way, and then another one comes in, and another one comes in, and Indy's punching him with his fists, and they're,
and he's
not
like,
using their swords.
Get out of here. And Miriam starts getting chased by a whole bunch of these guys. And so she's running around, giving them, hiding in baskets and all of this stuff, and she's hiding in this basket.
And then a stupid monkey.
And he's sitting on top, and then he's like...
It cracks me up every time you do the monkey impression because you do it so well. Not saying anything about you, but
yeah.
And then the guys turn back around, they see her in the basket, they're like, "Oh, you get up!"
And so then they go and they pick her up in the basket and they start running away. Meanwhile, cut back to Indy.
Just two of the guys, by the way. I don't know what happened to the rest of the guys.
Well, they only need two, I guess, to carry a woman in a basket. That's what they say. And so then you come back to Indiana Jones, and there's a guy who comes out and he shoots, and he's got his sword, and he's like, aha! And he's passing his sword around and go, and
then
doing
he's
all
just
these
like,
fancy tricks.
Which is why you never bring a
sword to a gunfight.
Sword to a gunfight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I think that was actually improvised because Harrison Ford didn't feel like doing all the stunt work.
That's hilarious if that's true. Oh, my word. True. That's so funny.
And so then he starts trying to find Miriam, and he hears a basket yelling, and he's like, that's probably her.
That's where she is. And so he runs out into the next street, and lo and behold, wouldn't you know, everybody's carrying a basket. So then he goes around and pulls it down from everybody, and everybody's getting upset with him. But then he finally sees the right basket and the two guys carrying it running off, and so he runs after it.
And they put the basket into a truck, and they start driving his truck away, and then he starts chasing after the truck, and there's action, and then the truck blows up, and he's like,
Miriam, no, she exploded.
So then he just starts eating grapes and drinking.
Man, that's the rest of the movie. I remember now. I remember.
Somebody gets him to go to Belloc, first of all.
Okay.
And then Belloc sits down, and he is like, oh, hello, Manchois. I'm sorry for your loss.
When did it become French?
Balak is French.
Okay. I don't remember him starting off that way, but okay.
I did when I did him the first time.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll watch it back when we post it.
And I don't know. Basically, Indiana Jones is like, I'm gonna kill you.
And then he's like, you don't think that everybody? You don't think that everybody? I can't do French when I do a German. I can't do that. But he's like, everybody in here is with me. And then they all stand up and they have swords and guns, or they all have guns. That's what it is. And then some kids run in. They're like, oh,
Uncle Indy.
And they pull him out, and it's Mister's kids. And I'm like, dude, you just sacrificed or put your family on the line for this guy? That's wild. But apparently it worked because he got Indy out of there just fine, and nobody thought about shooting kids, which I'm glad that was not a thought in their mind. But I'm also
good.
like, if you're a power hungry man, and okay, anyway, but
Though everybody has a line. That's come on.
Well, true.
But basically,
I hope so.
Mr. like, I have my guy. We can go translate the medallion. So then they go on their way to do that, and you cut to the man with the monkey. And he goes and he sneaks into the back of the building. And he's like,
And it sounds like that too.
And he puts poison on top of a bunch of dates. And he's like, yes. And then he makes his monkey go hang out with them.
Said place. And they're talking the next day, or actually probably just that night.
Right then.
And the guy his house, I assume. He's like, yes, this is Hebrew, and you must do this amount of cubits this way. And they're like, oh my goodness, because so when the German guy grabbed the medallion when it was hot, it was very much like Home Alone, where it like, imprinted on his hand. And so that's how.
Well, we don't know this yet.
Correct. Well, I think we get a cutscene of it.
They were told that the Germans somehow reconstructed the staff. That's what Balak was saying.
Yes.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Is that they reconstructed staff, so they're going to be able to get the right angle. They take it to this dude who actually knows whatever language it's in, and he's like, it is like 3 cubits minus 1 cubit. So one side of it says it's like 3 cubits. The other side of it, for whatever reason, says minus a little bit.
Because they couldn't put it all on one side.
Yeah, they couldn't fit it.
And so they're like, oh my goodness, the Nazis are digging in the wrong spot. Okay, so now this is how we get ahead of it.
Yep.
And then that's when Indy's like, cheers to me, and he flicks up the date, and he's about to grab it.
And Mr. grabs it out of the air, and he's like, what? And then goes, bad dates. And you look down and you see the monkey dead and surrounded by dates.
Thank goodness.
Eating dates. And you're like, whoa.
It's a malicious monkey.
Yep.
So now the next day, they are off to the dig site. And they're in just, regular turban garb, get up.
Yep, hide cover in the face and
right.
stuff.
And so they go out to the Nazi dig site, and they take a couple shovels, and they go off onto this like minus 10 cubits, whatever it is, area, which is just like right on the edge of where everybody's digging, but nobody's dug in this spot.
Yeah, and so they go and they dig a lot, and they manage to get down into the area where the map is going to be.
It's like a miniature of the city. Yeah.
Yep. And he sets up the staff that he brought down with him, and it's got the medallion on top of it.
Yep.
And he waits, and then the sun hits it, and he sees the location of the Ark of the Covenant.
And he's like, oh, sweet, Mister, pull me back up. But at this point, Mister has been pulled away because the Nazis saw him up there, and they were like, get away, you're not supposed to be up there.
So then Mister, after
a couple
improvises
minutes,
and he throws, instead of a rope down, he throws a bunch of tied like shirts and stuff, and so he climbs up the shirt, and they start walking away. Somebody is like, "Hey, get me a drink," and whatever that accent was.
Irish, I think.
Well, you got me a drink.
And then he's like, Andy, you keep going. I will get you a drink, sir. I will get you a drink. And so then Andy goes off, and he starts to.
He hides away into a tent.
Oh, that's right.
And then
I'm forgetting so many plot
there
points.
he sees Miriam, and she's tied up with gag. And so she takes it off, and they embrace.
And she's like, get me out of here, Andy, now.
And he's like, Miriam, I just found the Ark of the Covenant. This is great news.
She's like, that's amazing. Let me out.
They're gonna know something's wrong if you leave. and I can't tell you anymore so you don't snitch on me. And so he put the gag back on her and he bounces.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yep. And so then he gets out and they start digging in the correct spot.
And there's like a whole crew too. I don't know how nobody saw them over there, because I mean it's like on the opposite side of the dig site, but like people could have easily seen them.
Yeah. So they just start digging and digging.
Yep.
And
they finally find a stone.
Yeah.
Which is like the top, and they remove the stone eventually.
Yeah. While this is happening, you cut back into the tent. You find out that
Nazis
basically the Germans are like, you must go and interrogate the lady. And Belloc is like, oh, no, my friend. We do not need to do that. And so then he goes in there and he's like, you should wear this dress.
And he's, a little pervy. And so she goes and changes. He does his thing. And then they start pouring some wine or whatever it might be. And she has a smart plan now, because she's like, all right, cool. I'll get this guy drunk and wasted, so then I can just walk on out of here.
Yeah, because we know she can handle her liquor.
Right.
And so she starts doing that. She hides a knife under some clothes. And then finally the opportune moment happened. And she's like, aha! And she pulled out her knife. And
but she's a little wasted.
Yeah,
she's like
and they start laughing.
And he's like, what are you going to stab me? What is this?
And she's like, haha, I'm going to escape. Don't you stop me now. And then poof, runs into a German soldier. He's like,
the guy who grabbed the medallion.
Going? And she's like, and then that's when the guy walks in with the branded hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, hi.
I think it goes Heil.
So then
we cut back to Indy, and he is they have the cover removed, and they're like, it's so far down, we gotta throw our torch down. So he throws the torch down, and it hits the bottom, and then the bottom of the floor like moves away, and he's like, oh no, it's snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? And it's just like covered with snakes.
So many snakes.
And there's these like Anubis statues right around the cover and everything. There's like some up on there. I'm like, how the heck did it get up there?
You know, snakes are notorious climbers. So.
Of course. But so then they have to lower Indy down, and he eventually makes it down, and he lands on his stomach right in front of a cobra, and the cobra comes up. And so he has to stand up slowly, but nothing strikes, so he's okay. They just use the flames to like clear the snakes away, basically.
Yep.
And then Mr. comes down, and then they're like, all right, let's go on. And they venture forth. And then eventually they find the chamber with the Ark of the Covenant.
And they have to lift like a big old
and it's like
rock off of it.
At least 2,000 pounds. A rock that size.
No, not 2,000.
Dude,
it's a light rock. It could be a particularly porous
rock. The rock was like that thick by like that.
I'm sorry. Who took community college geology? This guy.
You did?
Not all rocks are heavy. I did. That's what I took. It was such a blessing because it was what I took for my science credit.
Really?
Back when I was in high school.
I forgot
so I didn't have to take it when I went to undergrad. And it was great because everybody would always complain. They were like, this gen ed science class sucked. Everybody hated it. And I was like, you should have taken geology for the lab. This is true. I got a college credit for taking Play-Doh and recreating the Earth crust.
That shows you the extent of our college knowledge. We were well educated, so thanks for
the American education system, everybody.
Although we can't bash them too much because I did send off that email for the newsletter. So anyway,
yes. Not my community college.
Oh, this was your community college.
Yeah.
Okay. Bash them away. Anyway, so they remove the rock, and then they put the rods into the ark, and they lift it out, and they're like, all right, sweet, right on.
Yep.
And that is when they make it back to the middle of the room where the snakes are.
Yeah, they have it in the box. They get it lifted back up.
That's right.
Belloc makes the way, not Belloc,
Mr.
makes the way back up, and then the rope falls down, and they're like, what's happening? And then you see...
He's like, guys, there's a lot of snakes down here. Get me up.
Indiana Jones? Nope, hang on. I lost it. Oui. Indiana Jones? Yeah, we're good enough. Yeah. He's like, it seems I have once again beaten you to another artifact.
And he's like, darn you, Belloc. And then the Nazis are like, all right, cover it back up. But before you do, we must throw her down the hole.
Oh, that is not about the dear, my friend.
It does not matter. We are doing this for the Commodores, for Führer, yeah, for the Führer. And so they throw her down, which I don't know really why they do it, but they do. And so now Miriam is down with Indy. Yeah,
and
I was about to say
they put
Obi-Wan.
the cover back on the very top, and so they are there. They got one torch and a whole lot of courage and adrenaline,
and a whole lot of snakes too,
and a whole lot of snakes.
And so that's
an
when
above average number of snakes,
use,
I would say.
Yeah, well, yes, more than you would like. And so that's when they use the flames to try and get the snakes away, and they're creeping in, and he's like, okay, wait, hold on, I have an idea. So Indy climbs up the Anubis statue, and he's rocking it back and forth because he sees some snakes come through the wall on the side. So he's rocking it back and forth, and eventually it tips over and breaks through the wall, and there's a passage on the other side, which I don't know if nobody saw that there was like this, I don't know, like 6 foot by 4 foot square hole in the side of the place they were digging.
It seemed like this was in a pyramid.
Yeah,
right.
Something like that.
Miriam runs into a whole bunch of like mummies and stuff. And, like I guess nobody just like said, "Hey, I wonder where these snakes are going."
Yeah,
like they could have found the ark without any of this whole staff of Ra nonsense. Well, they just checked this pyramid thoroughly.
They didn't have to dig the hole on top either. They could have just gone through the side here and then broken through the wall.
Yeah, well,
but you live and you
should
learn.
always look out for secret passages in any sort of ancient tombs that you're digging around, guys.
Funny enough, there's a secret passage right there. Actually,
that's true.
It's.
Sometimes you can hear scratching from the inside when we're trying to sleep.
And that's why I don't live here. So then they get out and they see the Nazis are pulling away, or they're loading the Ark onto a plane.
Yeah, the Ark's not there at the plane yet. That's over by car.
Right. But then Indy's like, all right, we got to stop this plane because they can't get away with this Ark. And so he goes over.
He's like, get off my plane.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah.
Something like that. And there's this big Nazi guy, and he comes over and he sees Indy like fighting with a pilot to try to take control of it, and he's like, and he rips his shirt off, classic Nazi fashion, and he walks over. Maybe I shouldn't use the word Nazi so much. I don't know. And he walks over and he's like, yeah, you sir, pow. And so then they start fighting each other, and the Nazi guy is winning a lot.
Oh, for sure.
He looks like a pretty big boxer guy.
Yeah, he's like the classic, like.
Old school, like with a mustache,
boxer,
Yeah.
And so Miriam, while this is happening, climbed on top of the plane, knocked out the pilot, and then gets inside and starts manning the guns and shooting other, Nazis that are coming up in trucks and boom, 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 and starts blowing stuff up. And she causes a gas leak, which isn't great, and it's getting closer and closer to fire. And you're like, oh no!
And she's trapped inside too, because the lid closed.
That she can't open, and so then Indy tries to get it open, but he can't because then the big boy gets him down. So they start fighting and punching the plane and rolling around, and then eventually
Indy's like,
yep, and Indy realizes, oh snap, my man's about to die, and he's like, he kind of stops trying, and the guy's like, huh, and then. He just dies because of the propeller. It's insane. And you're like, oh my goodness.
There's a lot more gore in this film than I remember.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, but then Indy jumps back up on the plane and he breaks the glass and grabs Miriam out of the plane, and they jump and the plane explodes, and it's that cool. I really want this to happen someday. Maybe not destruction and damage, but it'd be really cool to jump and in midair something explodes and it pushes you back.
Make that happen.
Yeah, we can do that.
I think with enough propane tanks and a lighter, we can make a lot of things happen.
So this July 4th, guys, meet us downtown Nashville. We're not artists in this. Anyway.
So they get away, and then basically they're like, we got to load the Ark onto a truck, and so they put it on a truck, and they start driving away, and then he's like, he meets Mister, and he's like, meet me at this part in the city with transportation ready to go. What are you gonna do, Indy? I'm gonna catch this truck. And so he gets on a horse, and he starts running away, and he chases after the truck, and there's all of the trucks, and they're like shooting at him, and he's like, oh boy, but he doesn't get shot.
They get Miriam again at some point, don't they?
No,
okay,
not yet.
That's right,
not at this point. She goes with Mister back into the city in Egypt, and so catches up to the truck that had the Ark in it. He knocks the guys out of it, and so he starts driving it.
Yes.
Right? And the Ark is with him. They're starting to shoot. Ahead of him is Belloc and the main German general and another guy. The guy with balloon. And so they're up ahead of him. All of these soldiers in the back of the truck with the arc, and they keep one by one trying to climb around the truck to get Indy out.
If you're going to attack somebody, attack all at once, okay? I don't, like, why are we doing this one-on-one action,
It's
right?
not smart, but eventually one guy, the last guy, he's like, this dude, he's not going to make it. And he makes it. He climbs on top instead of on the side. And he gets down there and he shoots Indy. He grazes him in the arm. And then they're fighting it out. And eventually Indy gets thrown out the front windshield. Insane.
Yeah.
He climbs. He'd be a great climber.
He climbs
underneath the truck and then comes back around, knocks the other guy out, throws him out the front. This dude, not a good climber. Gets run over. Not a good look.
Gore.
Then he runs off the other car off the road. They get stuck on the side, and Indy gets into the city.
Free.
Yeah, he gets into the city. He pulls into this like garage thing, and then immediately all of the people come in, and they pretend to be like a vendor situation.
Yeah.
So then when the Germans roll in, they're all like, "Where did they go?" And then
like,
they're like, "Hey, do you want your melon? Try our melons, friend." And then they're like, "We don't want your dang melons." And so then they leave.
Put that on a shirt. We don't want you dang melon.
Well,
And
that's
so,
kind of a reference to Portal 2. Lemons, I don't want your dang lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's going to burn your house down.
I think I remember you quoting that before.
That's a great quote.
Yeah. They make it, and that is when Mister makes a deal with some ship captain, and he's like, "Hey, I need you guys to take these two people and this package to your location for them to get the ark out." And he's like, "You can trust me. I'm a pirate, but I'm your friend or whatever."
I am your friend, pirate.
And so they take off on this pirate ship, and they're sailing away, floating and whatnot, and old flames rekindle a little bit, and they make out, and then the next day they see something surface from the water, and they're like, "What is this thing?" And he goes up on the top of the ship, and lo and behold, it's a Nazi submarine, which I didn't know they had submarines just waiting out in Egypt, but apparently they did.
Always.
And so then the Nazis are going to come aboard, and the ship captain's like, I don't know what we're going to do. You guys hide, and I'll try to, distract them, but it doesn't work out.
Indy hide away
They get
inside
Miriam
the
out
like
onto the
big
deck.
tube thing.
Yeah.
That's on ships. He's hiding there. One guy smoking a cigarette, and he throws it behind him. But they do get Miriam, and Belloc is like, "I was thinking I could have her," and they were like,
You can't bargain with us right now. We're going to take whatever.
"Yeah,
man."
But basically, they take Miriam and they take the ark, and they go back to the submarine, and one of the guys is like, "Captain, I was looking everywhere for Indiana Jones, and I could not find him."
And he's like, "I think I know where he is." And then he points, and he's
there
on like
Indy
a
is
smoke
on a
stack.
submarine, and he climbs into it, and then he finds some Nazi guy, knocks him out, puts on his clothes, and now he looks like he's a part of the army.
Although not really, because the uniform doesn't fit very well.
Yeah,
But
well.
who's gonna complain? Am I right?
So they decide to go to this deserted island off the coast of Africa. Basically, the Nazi general is upset with Belloc. He's like, "Why are we here?" And he's like, "Oh, we are here because how would you like to go back to your Führer and there is nothing inside?" And so then they're like, okay, so they're gonna open
Smart
it,
thinking, right?
make sure the weapon of ultimate power or whatever is opened in a safe environment before they take it back to Berlin, where it could potentially wipe out a bunch of people, which it would have.
Yep.
And so then that's when Indiana Jones finds his bazooka.
Oh. I thought this was out in the desert somewhere, wasn't it?
It is in the desert.
Yeah. Oh, and then Belloc eats a
in
fly.
the island. Yeah, they're on the island in the desert,
Yeah.
deserty island, and Belloc eats a fly,
And
he's like,
then that's when he pulls out the
"Hey,
bazooka.
Belloc, I'm gonna blow up the Ark of the Covenant. Just give me the girl."
And Belloc's like, "Nah, just put it down. Just put it down. We will let him blow it up because that is what he wants to do."
And he's
he's
like,
like, "Go ahead, Indy, blow it up."
"I can't do it." And then that's when some German guys come up behind him and they're like, "We got him." Mm-hmm. And so then,
It's a classic, I don't know, ritual place.
yeah, classic ritual places.
Classic
We've
ritual.
all been there.
Big statue, Coliseum or whatever
Yeah,
surrounding it.
Indy and Miriam are tied to this post that is
like a pillar.
kind of further away-ish, but not super close. And basically, they get up there and they open the Ark of the Covenant, and it's Belloc and the German general and the other guy with the burned hand, and then.
And it's I think the Death Angel.
I think it's the Angel of Death.
I
Or
don't
Ghost
know
for
how
some
biblical
reason.
this is.
Huh?
I don't know how biblical this is. That
Not very.
I don't know what happens when you open the Ark of the Covenant, but
Not that. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. But anyway, all the Nazis and Balak get destroyed.
Yeah, they die.
They turn into dust.
And India's like, don't look at it, Miriam. Because, I think he's thinking of the passage next to it, like, no man may look on the face of God and live. And so he's like, don't look.
Gotcha.
And so they close their eyes, and there's a whoo, and you have the faces melting. They're like, yeah.
And it's pretty good, too. Like, they made, like, a whole wax model. And
yeah, it's very impressive.
Melted it, yeah.
And so then everybody dies.
Yep.
And Indy and Miriam look up, and the ropes have been cut free.
Yeah. Apparently they're pure-hearted or something. I don't know. They're blessed.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were on their way to try to prevent from genocide. So
That's true.
we like that.
I do like that. How does it end, Stephen?
How does it end?
do we
Well,
end
they
this
take
show?
the Ark back to the back at the university, and he's like, "Oi, Andy, we couldn't quite get the Ark of the Covenant to the museum," and
Well, why is that, Pilgrim?
well, the government fellas, they wanted it for some reason. And basically, the U.S. government seized the Ark and locked it away somewhere where nobody can ever find it. Or
One could assume it was Area 51.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And then you cut to Indy, Wisdom University. He's kind of upset, but Miriam's waiting for him. And it's like, come on, let's go get some dinner. And he's like, I suppose. And then it ends.
And then we get the classic Indiana Jones music. Bum, 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 bum,
That's for some takeaways.
I'd say the first takeaway is I was gonna go not a great direction with that. If you want to not be perceived as evil and you have an eye patch, maybe don't smile in a devilish way.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So,
I see,
you see the difference.
Yeah. Or maybe get an eye patch with a smiley face on it.
Oh, that's good. Or an eye patch with just an eye on it, and then people just think you're staring at them all the time. Actually, what would be really funny is you get an eye that's looking off the wrong direction, and you just look,
Like an insane lady eye.
yeah.
Yeah. Or some people, if they're blind people,
Yeah.
will wear the glasses.
Yeah.
The round glasses.
Yeah.
What if you had one of those, but it's a monocle?
That's kind of cool. That's kind of sick. Or you could remove the eye and get a glass eye.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know if everybody who has an eye patch has the eye removed or not, or if it's
Right. It could. Maybe he just had an eye infection.
True. Or maybe he was just
He
like
wasn't
sensitive to light in that eye.
He just
So-
had LASIK. That lasts a while.
So don't smile devilishly with an eye patch.
Yep.
And
Or get
I don't take advantages of your of your poor situations, right? If you have to have an eye patch because your eye's gone wrong or whatever and it's unsavable, just go full on out and get like a glass eye, man. You could do like a dragon glass eye or like an 8-ball glass eye and spin your head around and see what comes
How
up.
are things looking today?
Kind of hazy. What's one of your takeaways, Stephen?
Oh man, I would say definitely if you're ever reading stuff for the height, make sure you look at both sides. If you're putting together, say, IKEA furniture, you never know if it's like the shelf is 5 feet tall. Flip it on the other side. Oh, minus 1 feet. Oh, I suppose if it's IKEA, they probably use meters because
Yeah. You'd just be lost at that point.
yeah, I'm
Ron
like,
metrics.
I don't know what that means. What is a pint? That's mine.
Yeah, that's pretty
You
good.
got a last one? Any final takeaways?
I
here?
would say know your scriptures, right? That way you can look, there's a lot of fun movies out there, but they're not clearly all biblically accurate, right? So maybe if you want to be able to contest some of the accuracy of films, you got to have a little knowledge to it. And that, that not just the Bible, but, it's also just to be good to be in the Word. So
that's true. And it saved Indiana Jones' life.
That's true. That's true.
By having
if you didn't
an
know that.
understanding of the ark, and such.
For that scenario.
In that one instant. So hopefully you didn't hear first, folks, but reading the Bible can save your life.
Amen.
That's what I'm learning.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know that's pretty
great
deep.
one to end on.
Thanks.
Wow.
I
Beautiful.
appreciate that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this and you think I have a movie recommendation, you can email us at wackandtrash@gmail.com and we'll consider it.
Yep.
Now you also might notice something neato, which is that she's wearing a very fun little hoodie over there.
Yes,
it
I
said
am.
Wack and Trash on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna move my mic out of the way for a second.
Whoa.
Yeah. How do you?
Wow.
And Steven is also wearing a very fun sweatshirt.
I went the wrong way.
With a fun logo on it. You might
Whoa.
recognize that guy.
And the hat.
Little Wack and Trash. I know we're kind of all decked out today, but it's our show, so we can kind of do any promos that we want to.
That's true. Yeah, this is our shameless plug that you can go. It will be in the description of this video. Hopefully, in the description on our YouTube channel, if you can figure out how to do it.
I mean, I know how to do it. I just got to get there. I'm just being exposed
at
as
the time that we're recording this. No, it's not.
Okay.
That's all.
That's
all my studio updates.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's start doing that. Why don't you guys can start commenting on some of your takeaways from the films.
Oh, that would be so fun. I would love to hear your takeaways.
If you guys watch the movies that we're talking about here or whatever, or just listen to the podcast and you're like, maybe there's some things that they didn't say that I took away from the film. And it can be goofy, can be serious, whatever the heck you want,
Yeah, we would love that. So you can comment on video, you can email us.
Steven, to close us out, why don't you give us your best whip impression?
Nope.
Ow!
What's yours? Give me a point of reference here.
Yeah, that's pretty. There's a little too much in there. And I think it needs to be like a.
One day I'll get it.
Bye, guys.